Well, Ian, first of all, the big talking point at the moment is the weather. 3G pitches, they can go down, as I understand it, to about -2. But how do you get it ready for Saturday, if that's even possible?
Yeah, I think when Saturday comes, we need the sun to be out pretty early. As you can see behind you there, at this time of year, the sun's only really out when it's at the saddle between the two hills in the Eildons. And you know, if it's not out, I don't think there's much chance of the game getting played. But you know, as you can see here, the sun is able to cover the majority of the pitch, and it usually thaws pretty quickly. But you know, at the moment, Live Borders have been pretty good in keeping us up to date as to what their expectations are, and look, I think if it's solid like this, I've never seen the Greenyards this hard before, and if it's solid like this, I don't think there's much chance of us playing any rugby.
So very, very difficult. But of course, you have to keep the momentum going for the players as well. They've got to play Tuesday nights, Thursday nights as well, training for a game that might not happen. And of course, it's been such a long gap since, well, luckily you had the Waverley Cup back on Boxing Day, but it seems such a long time ago now.
Yeah, well, even the Waverley Cup, the lead up to that game, there was a wee bit of toughness in the ground. Again, Live Borders, they came along and told us that you can train on it, but I wouldn't do any contact. And when it does get a wee bit hard, you maybe look at transferring to trainers. But it's the rubber crumb that's the problem. When the rubber crumb freezes and you can't get any given that, then it's just like playing on concrete.
How frustrating is that as a coach and for the players as well? Because they've been off for what seems to be an eternity now, playing league rugby.
I can't speak for the players now. I think some of them would be quite happy for us to have a little bit of delay. But for me, I would love to have just got straight back into it, but I'm also aware that the type of game that we play and how we want to play, it requires a wee bit better weather. We don't like to kick the ball, and when the weather deteriorates and it's not as we would like, we need to kick it a wee bit more. So for us to play the way we want to, we would prefer the weather to be a wee bit nicer than it is. If the sun isn't out early in the day, and we don't get it through the saddle, it's going to dip behind that next Eildon, and then it'll be gone for the rest of the day. So generally, if it's not thawed out by 12 o'clock, 1 o'clock, there's not going to be much chance of us playing at 3.
Well, last year, of course, most of the players were playing National 1 rugby.
Yep.
They've done exceptionally well in the Premiership. There's a lot of the players who've really upped their game, and that's, from a coach's point of view, fantastic to see. And you're currently, of course, ranked as the number 1 Borders side in the area, in the league in 5th position with some fantastic results, the double over Curry being a highlight.
Yep.
How have you managed to kind of turn it around?
We felt that if we had front row, we were going to be in a really good place. We conceded nearly 100 penalties at scrum time last season, and nothing good comes off bad scrum ball. So we recruited really well in around props. We had Ben White come in, Zen come in, Jack Dobby dropped down. The guys who probably really suffered last year, your Andrew Kirks, your Bubba Robinsons, these guys had a full season of playing a lot of rugby. Will Owen's probably playing the best rugby that he's played in a long time, and I think a lot of the pressure's been taken off him, not having to play 80 minutes all the time. He's played quite a bit of tight head. Jack's played quite a bit of tight head. So look, I don't know if it's a case of boys stepping up. We always knew we had the quality, but if you don't get your set piece right, then the rest of your game's not going to go well. And I think last year we scored more bonus points than anybody in the league, and it came down to that last game up at Glasgow Accies, where if we won, we finished second. And because it was one of those throwaway games, I think we had back row playing in the centres. We scored a try bonus, but we ended up finishing 5th. So look, it was tight. We're clearly the runaway winners last season, but I think what Scott's brought is a wee bit. I would have said he'd have brought a wee bit more pragmatism than he has, but it's maybe been me that's sort of winding him back in and saying, look, let's understand where we are here, let's understand the weather and understand what the game needs from us now. But look, guys are just really buying into what we're trying to do. Being in the Premiership helps. It gave everybody a lift as soon as we knew we were back in there, and guys are really aware of how hard we need to work Monday, Tuesday, Thursday to make sure that we can get Saturday right. And there is a real good feel around here, and we're hoping that we can continue to build on that and just not let the season fizzle out. But we're pretty chuffed with how things are going at the moment. And look, we need Curry to slip up a couple of times. That's out of our hands. But I think we're excited for what the rest of 2025 brings for this season.